Waking up, I feel so damn good. I got a boner. On the Go Show released a new episode today. Gonna listen to it with my boner. My boner.
All right, everyone. Welcome to On the Go with Jacob and James, asterisk. I'm one of your hosts, Jacob, and across the internet, through the sound waves, through the wires and everything else, is my co-host, James Jackson.
What's going on? You know, I think it's probably time we change the theme song.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's probably time.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'll get with our theme song guy and see if we can get us a new one.
Yeah. Our AI theme song guy.
Yeah. I'll get with him and see if we can change it up.
Yeah.
So what's been going on? What's been happening?
Oh, just same old. Just got off watching Thunderbolts.
Yeah. When did you see it?
I saw it Saturday night.
You saw it Saturday? We saw it this last Monday. So yeah, we went Monday afternoon, which is a great time to go see a movie, in my honest opinion. A lot less people there. It's really nice to have like most of the theaters to yourself.
Yeah, that's true. And
it's funny because before we get into the movie, the front row of the theater, they were just having like the time of their lives watching this thing, like just laugh out loud, like that's who the movie was made for. You know what I mean? Like they were just having too much fun. They were just like wow, you guys are really into this. Like a joke that would be a chuckle, they were guffawing extremely.
Yeah, I wasn't going crazy, but there had some funny stuff in there.
It did have some fun moments.
Yeah,
it did for sure. So, but let's start with you, James. What did you think of Thunderbolts?
Overall, I liked it. I thought it was really good. Thought it had a good script to it, good story. I thought it kind of reminded me of Phase 1.
Yes,
when they were doing Phase 1 movies.
Yes,
so it was kind of up there with that. Probably the best film they've done in this phase, because I haven't really enjoyed anything in this phase. Everything has been all mid.
Yeah, it's been really weird this like last couple sets of movies.
Yeah, so I haven't really enjoyed any of these movies too much. So I can officially say this is probably the best one I've seen. The acting was good. The action sequences were good. The score of the music was good. The only thing I probably didn't like was probably a little bit too long. And that's about it.
You think it was too long?
A little bit, yeah.
I didn't mind the time. But I liked it as well. The biggest thing I liked from this film is I agree with you. It feels like a Phase 1 film. It also feels like you can walk into this movie without having to see the last 5 or 6 movies. I think if you went straight from Endgame to this one, you would be fine. You would be perfectly fine. They do a great job of just like giving you a quick backstory on the characters. Like they do like a 30-second exposition, each one of them, to kind of explain themselves, and that's it. That's all you need. It felt refreshing to be able to just like, oh, I can walk into this movie blind and be perfectly fine.
Only thing I will say about that, like, if you kind of want the heart of the story, then you kind of have to watch Black Widow just a little bit. Just so you kind of understand the gravity of why this person is the leader of the group, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe Falcon and Winter Soldier. So that way you can kind of get behind that too a little bit as well.
Maybe, but I don't know if it's like detrimental. You know what I mean?
It's not detrimental, right. But you kind of have to watch a little bit. To
get a better understanding, it is good to watch the Black Widow and the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, but I don't think it's like completely necessary. Like you don't feel like you're losing anything or missing anything. Even because you're not going to understand a U.S. agent after Endgame, and you're not going to understand a Red Guardian after Endgame. No, but I think if you've seen enough of these movies, you can kind of put it together.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. But even with Val's character, I think Val's character, I mean, she pops up so seldomly in the movies or TV series, wherever she comes from.
True.
That you get the gist of what she's about in this film anyway. She's just doing dirt. She's a sketchy politician. She's got mercenaries and all kinds of people under her pay grade. Like you kind of get what she's about. Like I don't think you feel confused if you see her and be like, oh, who's this character? You automatically like, okay, yeah, she's just a shady lady trying to do essentially The Boys. She's trying to make The Boys.
Yeah, The Boys, Amanda Waller. You know, the same kind of gimmick.
Yeah. Sentry was great. Sentry was a great addition.
I did like Sentry. Bill Pullman did a really good job with that.
He did. I didn't realize he's the same guy from the Top Gun movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So son of what's his name? Pullman. The Independence Day.
Bill Pullman. Yeah.
Yeah, Bill Pullman. That's his son.
Okay. Nepotism.
Yep.
Didn't realize that. But yeah, I didn't realize he was in that movie. And like there was an article about him wanting to change the name.
His name would be Bob.
Yeah, but they were like, nope, that's the character's name. Like you're gonna be Bob, and they're gonna say your name like 50,000 times in this movie. So get used to it. But great subject matter to the movie too. It's essentially just about fighting your demons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just fighting the inner sadness that we all kind of have every now and then. That's the real villain, is depression in the film.
That's basically what it's about. And, you know, it was just good to watch a film that wasn't as silly as Suicide Squad.
Right. And, you know, for some reason, people seem to think this was going to be like MCU's version of the Suicide Squad. And I suppose because like the Thunderbolts, comics-wise, is supposed to be kind of like that. But, you know, it's the difference between Marvel and DC, right? Because Marvel has always been like the more lighthearted stories. DC has been the darker, grittier stuff. So I don't know why people just assumed like half the cast was going to get killed off in this film. But it didn't really surprise me that most of them made it out alive. Yeah,
I mean, except for Taskmaster.
Yeah, and you know that's something I disliked about this movie is the disrespect of Taskmaster. I mean, I understand like her character in Black Widow was controversial because like it's a female, or they kind of changed up the backstory, but you don't have to like shoot her in the head and kill her off entirely. Like you could just write her to be a better character. You could rewrite her to be closer to the actual comics version of the Taskmaster. It's been a few years. You can make that work. And the fact that they just like killed her off like that just really irked me at the beginning of this film. Like I think you could have done better writing with her. And I understand they had a like a more involved storyline originally.
Yeah, for all of them. I think Zemo was supposed to be in there. Zemo was originally supposed to be in the group.
Right. Well, because Zemo in the comics, he starts the Thunderbolts. He's the one who starts the Thunderbolts because he does like it's like the Dark Avengers masked as like a new superhero team or something like that. So, I mean, I think you could have just like did her character differently or had her in the movie to a different capacity. Even if you didn't want to make her part of the team, you know, she could have been working for Val. She could have been another like secret asset of Val's, because Val just seems like she has contingency after contingency, sort of. I don't know. She's also kind of winging it at the same time.
Well, that's what I thought they were going to do. I thought they should be going to make her join Val, but then I guess they said nah.
Yeah, just
kill off.
Shoot her in the head, just disrespect. And this is something that bothers me about Marvel a little bit too, is when they know how to write a character, they can write a character very well. When they don't know what to do with the character, it's very obvious they don't know what to do with the character. Like the Incredible Hulk, for example, like they've done the Incredible Hulk dirty almost entirely ever since like Age of Ultron, I think. Like they've degraded him so much in the series. And I kind of feel like they did the same thing with Taskmaster here. It's just like, we don't really know what to do with her, so let's just kill her off. And I mean, I'm sure they'll replace her later with like the real guy. You know, kind of like similar.
I'm assuming so. I'm assuming so.
Yeah, similar to what they did with the Mandarin. And that's another good example, right? They screwed up the Mandarin, and then years later they had to come back and kind of reintroduce him. And then I think they still killed him off. If I remember right.
Him off, and I honestly, I really didn't like that movie was good until the third act. I really didn't care for the villain. I didn't care for the Mandarin. I thought it was a good character. Yeah.
So it's one of those tricky things where it's like, when they know how to write a character, they know how to write them really well. And then when they don't, it's very obvious. And then they just kind of throw it away. MCU is really good about sweeping things under the rug.
True.
You know, we've seen it with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We've seen it with Inhumans. Even the Netflix series, that's like, it was originally part of the MCU, and they kind of retcon that to not be part of the MCU. And then now they're slowly bringing back Daredevil, and they're slowly like integrating it back in.
Yeah, that's true.
So they are very good about kind of just like quieting things down in certain aspects. But that's
and
only
they're good at you not asking questions. So they figure like, well, he won't ask no questions about it.
Yeah, exactly.
The story is so good.
Exactly. But that was the only thing I really disliked about this movie was like they just killed her off so quickly. Like,
me too.
You could have done something more with her, but
that's true.
Outside of that, everything else was really good. I see a lot of comments about how this redeemed John Walker's U.S. agent character. I don't think so. I think he's a prick. I just think he's a jerk, and he's always going to be a jerk. I don't think there's any like real redemption here. And
yeah, I mean, I don't think it was really supposed to be a redemption. I just think you just got to know him a little bit better.
Yeah, but I don't know, the way the conversation is online is just like, oh, this made him so much better than Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm like, I don't think so. I don't. Aside from the fact that like he killed a terrorist in public, and they brought that up in the movie, and I know a lot of people discuss that online. Outside of that, I think the John Walker character is just a jerk. That's just who he is. He's just a jerk of a person.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed him. I thought he was pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, no, he had good bits. He worked. It was funny how they kind of like picked on him as like this parody of Captain America. Like he would try to say something that Captain America would say, and it would just like fall flat, or like they would just like scoff at it or roll their eyes at him.
Yeah,
Also
like how he's been the internet has been lighting him up and throwing memes at him because how he looks in the Captain America helmet, and he took it on the chin like a good sport.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because in Falcon and Winter Soldier, he looked ridiculous. Like the helmet was like a size too big for him.
Yeah, and this one the helmet looks a little bit different.
Yeah, it looks much better, and I mean he doesn't really wear it as much. It's like off and on. That's another thing about the helmets in this film. I really enjoyed the more practicality to them. They weren't the nanite helmets we've been seeing.
No,
they actually kind of retract, like Ghost's helmet kind of retracts, like Taskmaster for the 5 seconds she's there. Her facial thing retracts. Very, very heavy on the practical effects in this film, less so the CGI until like towards the end.
True,
but that's warranted. So it was also just refreshing to be like, oh, this looks actually real and good, and Florence Pugh jumped off, the second tallest tower in the world or whatever for this film. Good for her, good for the production. All in all, a really great film. I wish this movie would have came out like 2 or 3 years ago, because this is something we've been needing. This
is definitely a welcome sight. Unfortunately, it's not making money like it was, like they wanted to.
Right. Let me see. I got the numbers here. So the budget was $180 million, and it opened to $76 million domestically and $86.2 internationally. So it's almost made its budget back with $161.2 million globally. And that's just the first week. We have, at least another month or two with this, probably. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're going to ride it out until Fantastic Four comes out. And especially with the name change, you might kind of trick people into thinking it's a different movie.
Well, they got about 2 weeks to kind of get some money from it, because Final Destination comes out next week, and then after that, Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible comes out. So you got 2 more weeks before it gets buried. Right,
you got a good 3-week run with this, and I'm sure it's going to make more money as the reviews kind of roll in. And like I said, it's definitely a movie like I think you can walk into this without having to see the last few movies and be perfectly fine. The way it sets everything up, the way it tells a story, like that's what we've needed. That's what the MCU has been missing since Phase 1. Like you said, it's really just needing the less interconnectivity feeling, and more or less like I can see this movie and not be confused. I mean, of course it helps if you've seen all the other properties and stuff that came out before it, but if you haven't, you're fine. It's an action movie. It's an ensemble film. It's, the cast is great. They work well together. Everything's good. And so that's kind of my opinions on it. Moving on to the name change. How do you feel about the name change?
I mean, I was okay with it, but they did it so quickly.
They did. It was like a day after it came out. But unfortunately, it got spoiled for me because You know, some people can't make it to the movie on opening night.
Yeah, it got spoiled pretty quickly there.
They did it so fast. And I mean, even having like Sebastian Stan going out and replacing the posters himself.
I can only attribute that to because the movie wasn't making money. So they was like, okay, well, just throw the Avengers out there. Maybe that'll get people to see it.
Yeah, but you can't base that off after a day or two. You know what I mean? Like that can't possibly be the reason. It's just like, oh, it's not making a movie as soon as it comes out. Let's change the no. I think this was their plan. This is like some weird hyper marketing thing they decided to do. And I don't know. I don't like actually changing the name of the movie. I think in the movie itself it works, right? Thunderbolts asterisk. Oh, what's that about? And then you watch the movie the whole time. The Thunderbolts thing is a bit. It's about they're jokingly naming it after Yelena's soccer team, which I remember. I think when they were first making this film, either we talked about it on the show or we heard about it, but people were talking about like how that's where the name comes from, and everyone was kind of like poo-pooing on it. For the movie, it works. Like when you see it in the film, you're like, "Oh, that makes sense. It's a bit. It's funny. They keep bringing it up. Yelena hates it, and then you get to the end of the movie, and it's revealed like, oh, they're gonna be called the New Avengers. And again, this goes back to Val being a great villain because she's such a weasel, James. She's such a damn weasel in this film, and I hate her, so much. But yeah, the way she was able to twist it to make it look like she's the new Nick Fury and this is her new team, it was just like, Yeah,
she ran off and had the cameras right behind the scenes.
Yep. It's like, damn, you got us. You got us. Damn it. But no, I think for the context of the film, it works. I don't think you needed to change the name of the actual movie on the posters and the marketing just yet. Yeah. Because
they did their way too quick.
They way too quickly. But in regard to the movie, it works. It's funny. It makes sense. And I don't know. The little post credits at the end, not the post credits, but like when the movie ends and they're doing the before the credits roll, where they're showing like everybody's names and they're showing the headlines of like everyone reacting to like, oh, the new Avengers. Like, who are these? So 3 Captain Americas and
they're all in like different tabloids, and Variety and Time Magazine and the New Yorker.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny. And the thing is, though, I don't think the new Avengers name is going to really stick around too long because... No,
it's not going to stick.
We're going right into Doomsday pretty soon here. And so I imagine after Doomsday and Secret Wars, everything's going to be reestablished and remixed. And like this new Avengers team is not really going to be the new Avengers. I can see it like being changed to like the West Coast Avengers or whatever. Like you start introducing some of those. But,
it might be like different Avengers in different cities.
Yeah, and honestly, that's something the MCU probably should have been setting up way earlier. I think if one of these newer phases was just like a few ensemble movies of the different Avengers teams coming together, because there's no Avengers, and they made it apparent there's no Avengers for like the last 3 movies. I think that would have worked out a lot better if like you did a series of ensemble films, even in Eternals would have been nice to be like, oh, these guys are going to replace the Avengers. It's like, well, no, now there's the new Avengers, and now there's the Thunderbolts or whatever.
Eternals would have been nice if this never existed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could have put another movie in its place.
Right. You put it in another place, or you, again, multiverse, if you set it outside of the main timeline, like you're doing with Fantastic Four. I think that would have worked out a lot better. But and also they spent so much time trying to like explain that celestial island to where now that's like such an integral piece to this Bane timeline. They kind of shot themselves in the foot with that as well.
Yeah, so I liked it. I liked the name in the movie, but I just didn't, care for revealing it so soon.
Me neither.
But the end credit scene, I'm assuming that they shot that probably like
a couple weeks ago, apparently.
It had to be a couple of weeks ago. Like you could tell by the way everything looks. The film looks very gloss. Everyone has like glam over.
Oh yeah, the
new suits.
The new suits. The set piece looks entirely different. And,
it looks entirely
much nicer.
Different. Yeah, and Florence Pugh's hair, and Sebastian Stan's hair, Bob's hair. Everyone looks totally different.
Yeah.
So everyone was a lot more glammed up.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think it came out like a couple of days ago that the Russo brothers directed it like 3 or 4 weeks ago before the movie even came out.
Yeah, it seems about right.
Right. So let's move on to that post-credit scene. And the very final credit scene is where we see the new Avengers. They're walking in their tower. They're talking about how they're getting copyrighted by Sam Wilson because he's got the actual Avengers, and there's a hint at like a Civil War II, which obviously that's not going to happen because again we're rolling right into Doomsday.
Yep.
But they're all discussing like the name change, and they get a signal from space that there's something entering the atmosphere. There's something entering like the area of Earth or whatever, and they look it up, and lo and behold, it's the Fantastic Four spaceship.
Yep.
Right. So this leads to a lot of discussion on like, well, who's on the ship, right? Obviously, the first thought would be like, well, it's the Fantastic Four. They're probably outrunning Galactus. A lot of the theories are Galactus is going to end up eating the Fantastic Four's world. That's the big theory. So it could just be them appearing. Some people think maybe nobody's on the ship. Some people think maybe Doom is on the ship.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Right. I mean, we don't know, right? Because we haven't seen Fantastic Four. We don't even really know how Fantastic Four is going to end. Everyone's speculating Galactus wins. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he gets knocked out by Doom, and that's how Doom shows up. Because Doom's got to be a part of the Fantastic Four movie in some aspect. Because you can't have Reed Richards without Doctor Doom. You know,
probably at the end credits.
Yeah.
Which these end credits were like 3 minutes long.
Yeah, apparently it's like the longest end credit scene or whatever. It didn't really feel that long to me. I don't know.
Oh, it definitely felt long.
Hola, mis amigos. It is me, the masked hero, El Pollo Loco, and I am telling you to go and listen to the Jacob and James podcast. It is, how you say, muy caliente.
So I don't know. What do you think from the Fantastic Four trailer and this scene? What is your opinion of what's going to happen in this Fantastic Four movie?
I look like it was just like I said. I just think it's the obvious that the world comes to an end on that side, and they're coming back to warn the 616. So I think that it's the obvious.
Yeah, you're gonna go with that.
Obvious. Yeah, I think that's the obvious one.
Do you think Silver Surfer is going to survive the movie?
Probably not.
You don't think so?
No, but they're just going to try to help the Fantastic Four end up getting killed.
She's going to get killed off by Galactus.
Yeah, and then that's when you introduce her husband.
Yeah, Norrin Rad.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. He could be the main MCU timeline's Silver Surfer, right? In actuality,
but it can be. They will be the like. That's what I was trying to tell people. They were just so butthurt about it. I was like, she's not the main Silver Surfer,
right?
I said that.
It's an alternate universe.
It's an alternate universe.
Well, someone had made the comment that Galactus is one of the few MCU characters that are like, there's no variants of Galactus. Galactus exists throughout all the timelines. And someone had suggested like a fun theory would be, this is the same Galactus from the Rise of the Silver Surfer movie. And he remembers Norrin Rad from that universe screwed him over. So as a revenge plot, he went and got Norrin Rad's wife, made her the Silver Surfer, and then now she's a herald as revenge on Norrin Rad.
That don't sound too bad.
No, it doesn't. And again, it's just a theory. I don't think the movie's going to flesh it out too much, but like that's a good explanation on like, yeah, this is a character that exists across all timelines. There's no variants. Oh. And so this would explain why he decided to pick the wife in this universe versus Norrin Rad as normal.
Yeah.
And I think it's a fun theory. I think it is good. And again, for the people who are butthurt, are you really that upset about looking at a woman who's like essentially wearing nothing in a very skin tight like silver outfit or CGI'd in silver, like every nook and cranny is visible. You're gonna be upset about watching this woman flying around on screen.
guys, Jacob, guys are weirdos. They like what they like.
Yeah, they apparently don't like looking at at women, but and it's funny because people complain about like the CGI of like how Silver Surfer looks and all this stuff. And
she does look kind of a little wonky.
Well, here's my opinion. Silver Surfer is an entirely CGI character. I don't think they're gonna look that great regardless. They're a silver character. Versus like Ben Grimm, you can add texture and you can make it look better, right? Or even the Hulk. You can add some texture to it. But Silver Surfer is just a straight silver person. She's not wearing clothing, right?
Also too, though, I don't think they're done fixing her up.
Of course not.
It was just they're not done fixing her up. But she did look a little funny there.
Right. But I mean, I still think you can only do so much with that type of character, that type of look on a character with CGI. You can hide it with Ben Grimm because he's a rock person. You can add texture to him. You can add clothes to him, and that kind of helps out. But an all silver character is going to look not entirely there. I don't think you're ever going to get it to look straight realistic. You really just have to suspend your disbelief in this film.
Well, I mean, again, Ron Silver Surfer, he looked a little bit better in that than she did in this. I will admit that.
Right. But again, early trailers.
I don't think they're done. Yeah, it's early trailers, so they're not done fixing it up.
Yeah, early trailers are never really fully finished, but so that's just my opinions on the Silver Surfer. I remember because when that trailer came out, I think we had just got done recording our last episode, and when that trailer came out, a lot of people were like complaining about the looks. And it's just like, guys, it's going to be okay. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. We also got a little bit of look at Pedro Pascal's powers, or Mr. Fantastic's powers in the newer trailer, where he's like a little stretchy. So
at first, cool. Somebody said he wasn't stretching at first.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's probably you chalk that up to maybe they just didn't have that scene finished, right? Because the very first teaser trailer, they only showed so much. They didn't get time. They didn't get a chance to do the stretchy Mr. Fantastic bits. So, I mean, I'm sure he's going to be stretching quite a bit. It is curious to see because I know they're supposed to be doing like Franklin Richards. They're introducing him. And I know, like, in the trailers, they pretty much just say, like, she's pregnant. So I wonder if there is going to be, like, a time skip at a certain point in this film. Like, the first 30 minutes is going to set them up, and then you get, like, a couple years later, and that's when Galactus shows up.
I'm assuming so, because that's what the trailer gives off. The trailer gives off is showing the early dates, and then skip to the main stuff. Whenever
they first show up to this Earth, if they're from this Earth, or if they're not from this Earth, because there's also rumors that they actually do come from the main timeline, and they got stuck there, and that's how they got their powers. That could be it. I was talking to someone at work, and again, back to the end credit scene with the ship. He was like, oh, what if that ship is actually this main universe's Fantastic Four? Because the Bane universe could still have a Fantastic Four. And I was like, oh, that's a fun theory. Maybe it's like a Planet of the Apes situation. Maybe they go up and they come back. They go up to space for 5 minutes and they come back and it's actually been like 20 or 40 years.
Well, I know John Krasinski's Fantastic Four, when Dr. Strange asked him, said, you guys chart in the 60s.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Who knows?
It could be. Yeah. I mean, who knows? That end credit scene could lead to a few possibilities, and I mean, we'll see. That end credit scene could lead directly to Doomsday, for all we know, or maybe not. Yep. I don't know. It's a curious scene. It makes me more curious and more excited for the Fantastic Four movie, because that movie, it just looks good. It looks good.
There's a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. It looks like a good movie, and again, it's another movie to where like you can walk in without really having seen the last few movies, and you'd be mostly okay.
Yeah.
Because it's set in a different reality. I really feel like Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four should have came out a couple years ago. I really wish they would have came out like a few years earlier and not so close to Doomsday. Because I feel like we're finally getting these like really good new things, and then Doomsday is going to come, and then they're going to have to tie up a bunch of story plots they've been setting up for the last 5 or 6 years. You got to bring back characters we haven't seen, like Shang-Chi. You got to bring him back in there, and it's like, well, we haven't seen him in like 5 or 6 years.
who's on set with the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth and all the rest of them.
Yeah, or like, you know, people are talking about like Sam Wilson's Avengers, right? He's like, well, who's his Avengers? Like, let's look at this lineup. Like, nobody remembers who Spider-Man is. He's not gonna have Spider-Man on his team. Like, he's gonna go pick up She-Hulk. He's gonna find Moon Knight somewhere. Like, what's he doing? So it is curious.
That do is probably Russo's. The Russo's could probably fix that up a lot better.
Yeah, well, we'll see what they do.
Oh, nah.
They seem to do really good with MCU movies. Other movies they're having hard times with, but
yeah,
that Electric State movie didn't work out for them. But they're really good at superhero films. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what they do. It does rejuvenate my excitement for this giant franchise. So I'm excited. I'm curious to know what happens next.
You're listening to 96.2 with Jacob and Jays. Nothing but hard rock for your hard rock boner.
You have any more thoughts? You have anything else you want to talk about?
Nope, that's about it.
Cool, man. Well, hey, good short, quick episode for the day. So,
what you want to talk about? You're talking about the trip.
Oh, my trip?
Yep.
Nah, you know, it was a road trip. It was fun. Yeah, I went on a road trip for our anniversary. We went to Colorado, Utah, New Mexico. So it was a good time, man. We stayed up in the mountains. We drove through the mountains. We stayed in the desert. We drove through the desert. We stayed in Roswell. We didn't see any aliens, but, you know, kind of wish we would have.
So you stayed in the cabin?
Yeah, well, we stayed in a dome, like out in the Utah canyons one night. It's camping, but it's like fancy camping, so it's glamping.
No.
But it's like this big dome. We had a fire pit. You know, we made some s'mores, grilled some hot dogs, just had a nice night there. We stayed up in Colorado. We went to Colorado first. We stayed the most in Colorado. Like, we stayed in Denver for one night, then we went up to like the mountains. Like, there's like this ski resort area called Breckenridge. Mm-hmm. We stayed up there, and we stumbled upon a rave on the mountaintop. So that was neat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. And then we drove to Salt Lake City, hung out in Salt Lake City for a little bit in Utah. We went to Provo, where she went to school. So we went to go walk around her old university.
Did y'all get a rental car, or did y'all just drive there in a regular car?
No, we rented a car. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6 days we were gone. We were road tripping, which really wasn't that bad. Honestly, the weather and the traffic was perfect the whole time. Like, we didn't really run into any issues until we got back to San Antonio.
Did y'all take turns driving?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we took turns driving. Yeah, most of our drive, it was like we wake up in the morning, we drive 8 hours to the next spot, or we drive like 4 hours to the next spot. So, quite a bit of driving, but it was a good time. Just spent a lot of money on gas.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a lot of gas.
Yeah,
especially going to Utah.
Yeah,
I'm so surprised you went to Utah.
Yeah, well, we did Colorado first, because Colorado was like the biggest stretch of time. It was like 14 hours to get there, and 10 hours of that is getting out of Texas. So we did that first, and then everything after that, like, the distances kind of got shorter, or the drive kind of got shorter as we came back to San Antonio. So, which was much better, because I think originally we were going to do Colorado last, and we were like, oh no, that's going to be killer on the last day to like drive 15 hours back home.
True.
Just no, thank you. But
did you guys stop at any restaurants on your way there? I just made one straight shot.
We primarily did like a one straight shot to like each destination, and then when we got there, we either ate local, or, you know, we found food somewhere,
like Buc-ee's.
Yeah, well, actually, no, we didn't see a lot of Buc-ee's. We didn't see any Buc-ee's like leaving Texas. It was so strange, because normally you see a Buc-ee's somewhere, but no, like, we didn't see a Buc-ee's at all until we left Texas. And funnily enough, there's a Buc-ee's in Colorado, and we were going to go visit it, because we were like, oh, what does Colorado Buc-ee's look like? But the thing is, it was like way out of our way.
I got you.
So it's just like, yeah, it's not worth going an hour out of our way to a Buc-ee's. So we're just gonna continue on. But it was a great time, man. It was the road trip was really nice. It was much nicer than flying. Yeah, we drove a lot, but it was cool just seeing the different landscapes, like seeing how everything changes from state to state. you know.
Well, at least when you drive, it's just you and her. It's not a whole bunch of people.
And that's another thing. Yeah,
babies and stuff.
Yeah, we didn't have to stress out about like catching the plane. We just it was a good time. It was chill. It was great. And then so
like you see why people do road trips.
Yeah,
instead of just flying.
I do. Yeah, and I mean, I can't say if it was cheaper or not. I'm sure like one way or another, it all kind of balances out the same.
I think it's cheaper if you go in like several different places.
Yeah, but let me tell you, some people are saying gas is going down. Gas is not going down. It's actually
gas going up.
It's more expensive in Utah. I think Utah was the most expensive place we had gas in. It was like $3.60 up there. So yeah, so those liars out there saying gas is going down. It's not true, kids. Not true at all.
You see what the grocery stores look like
in the different states.
Yeah. It's just like a lot of
not too
small
much
towns.
Oh, actually, we drove through a lot of dying towns. Honestly, like a lot of small towns. Man, they're looking rough. And if I was the mayor of some of these towns, James, I would do everything I can to at least get the main drag of the road, the town, to look nice.
Didn't look creepy.
Yeah,
like,
man, it's
Texas Chainsaw.
Definitely towns you don't want to stop in or get pulled over in. Let me tell you. Definitely creepy. And I'm just like, this is why they're dying, right? Nobody, like, you're not bringing in new business. You're not bringing in, you don't want to update yourself. You want to stay in the past, and now you're slowly dying as a town. Like, this is a problem.
You see any coyotes?
No, but we ran over a roadrunner, unfortunately.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, poor guy. He ran into the tire, so.
Oh, man. How could you tell?
We were driving down. This was actually on the first day of the trip when we were leaving Texas. We were driving out of Texas, and we saw it last second. He was zipped across the road, and then we felt him hit the tire, and Khadijah saw the feathers come up. Damn. So yeah, it was a sad time for the Roadrunner, man.
Was he small, or was he like? He must be pretty small.
Yeah, he was small. He wasn't a 6-foot chicken that you see in the cartoons or anything.
Well, yeah, I know that. I know that. Because I know sometimes, if you don't see him quick enough, you'll hit him.
Yeah.
You'll definitely hit him.
Yeah, no, I mean, he was real small, and we saw him, like, flash by, and that was it. That was wraps for him. So, yeah, I think it was...
So you was able to kill the Roadrunner faster than Coyote did.
Yeah, man. Turns out the Coyote just needs a car. He just needs to go to Avis and
stay away from acne.
Rent a Mazda SUV. That'll get him.
He's got to stay away from acne.
Yeah. That's why he's got that lawsuit against Acme. Yeah.
All you had to do was get a job, get a car. Call Jacob.
That's all he had to do, man. That's all Wile E. Coyote had to do. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else happened on the trip? I told you about the mountain rave. Told you about Roswell.
You running into any weird couples?
No, we didn't run into anybody. We didn't really talk to too many people. Yeah,
you see Grand Canyon? You get a chance to see the Grand Canyon?
No, we didn't. I don't think we even drove near the Grand Canyon. Obviously we were kind of like in the area, but no, we didn't go to the Grand. We went to the Four Corners though. The Four Corners.
Oh, Four Corners, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I was kind of not impressed by it. I thought it was like more built up and more interesting, but it's really not.
Yeah, it's just not that impressive.
Out in the desert, it's just kind of like this concrete square, and the Navajo owns it. They watch over it, so like that was kind of cool because the Navajo are there. They're selling trinkets and whatnot, so we bought some magnets from them. We gave money to the Navajo tribe. Felt good about ourselves, and honestly, from Utah to New Mexico, we drove through like 3 or 4 reservations, and that was part of like the not the worst part of the trip, but definitely like the nerve-wracking part of the trip because it was the longest stretch of time that we had between gas stations. So anytime we passed a gas station, I made sure to like stop and fill up the tank. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to run out of gas in the desert between reservations.
Oh, that's the last thing you want to do, like those movies. Those movies from back in the day, those comedy movies that you stuck in the sand.
Yeah, exactly. Because
that's the worst thing you want.
Yeah, because Google would be like, drive 120 miles this way, and like we drive the 120 miles, and they're like, all right, now drive another 140 miles to the next spot. And it's like, okay, definitely need to make sure we're gassing up.
Did you have any internet problem, like cell phone, Wi-Fi?
No, not really. The only time we didn't really have a lot of internet was when we were like camping out in the Utah canyons, and that was about it. But
I definitely want to go there.
huh?
I definitely want to go there.
It's nice. It's nice out there. There's
Yeah, we definitely got to take a trip out there.
yeah. I'll do a
Utah.
road trip. Yeah, I'll do a road trip. You got to go to Colorado. Colorado is the nicest.
I
Stay up
never
in the
been
mountains.
interested. I never been interested in Colorado.
Really?
Yeah, 'cause I know most people that are interested in Colorado are just weed heads.
Yeah, I mean, that's one part of it, but like the nature and the state just looks nice. It's really nice out there.
Portland, I've been to Portland. Portland, Oregon is really nice too.
Portland.
Yeah, because that's like it's pretty much the same as Colorado, just maybe like low budget.
low
Yeah,
budget
it's like a
Colorado.
low budget Colorado.
That's
Yeah,
fun.
they got the same thing. Yeah, it's really nice. Colorado, Seattle. I've been to Seattle. That was
All right.
pretty nice. Yeah,
Nice.
Seattle, Washington.
I think we want to go to Alaska next, or like New York. I think
Yeah.
Alaska's next on the list, I believe.
Yeah, Alaska's that's definitely one of my top places I want to go. I don't want to go to New York though. New York is just filthy.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard stories about New York. I mean, New York seems cool, but
You ever been to Chicago?
no.
Yeah, I've been to Chicago. That's pretty good.
Yeah, Chicago's nice. I hear Chicago's not so
very
good.
nice. I mean, yes, from the stories that you hear, of course, Chicago's like trash.
Yeah,
But then once you act like the actual city side
Yeah.
of it, like not where the parts where the bears sing is filmed, but the
Yeah.
other parts of Chicago is actually a pretty nice city.
yeah. I think that like what the north side. The north side is nice. 'cause
Yeah, I
the
think it's
s-
like the north side.
yeah, because the south side is like the sketchier part, according to Shameless and the Bear.
It's kind of like Houston, how Houston was back in the day.
I'm sure it is. Honestly, I'm sure any city has like the nice parts and the bad parts. You know what I mean?
Then you got the bad parts. Yeah.
yeah. You just gotta know where to go.
Believe it or not, even Utah has bad parts and good
Oh, yeah.
parts.
Yeah, Utah is. Well, it's funny because like Utah is like Mormon land, like USA. So anybody who's not Mormon in Utah is like the complete opposite direction. You know, like it's more extreme because like you're rebelling against the Mormons. So
It's
you're a little
definitely
bit more
more
hardcore.
conservative.
Yeah, very much so. Like they have state-owned liquor stores over there. They don't
Yeah.
actually have like private liquor stores. It's all state-owned. Very conservative place.
Yeah, I think your boy's from there. What's his name? Mitt Romney.
Oh, Mitt Romney? Is he a Mormon? Is he?
Yeah, he's not a Mormon, but he's a conservative. He was like the governor.
Ah,
I think he was like the governor or something.
interesting. Well, that
So,
kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Very much a red state.
Yeah, it's definitely a red state.
Yeah.
I remember when I went to Indiana. Indiana was real nice. I got a story from Indiana,
Yeah.
and it's pretty bad. It's not bad, but it's very weird because I
Yeah.
seem to attract a lot of weird people. So when I went to Indiana, we approached this restaurant, and it was like one of those dining, those, how can I say this? Those small dine-ins that you see where you see double truckers at.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Like you see in every superhero movie, got the little diners that sit there in the middle.
Sketchy
you got-
diners.
Sketch diners. And then you got the woman that takes your order, and she had us on like those little dresses
Yeah.
with the stripes on there.
Yeah. Single mom.
Single mom. Like she has like 2 jobs. So we go to the table, and the woman takes an order, and the guy, just like the movies, he looks back at us. Then he sees a black man with a white woman. So he looks back at us and he started asking us questions. And I thought it was gonna be like some chaos was gonna be ensue. And then he turned around, and I was pretty open the entire time to him. So I didn't think he was gonna start any, fights or anything like that. So the revelation that I came up with at the end of this conversation, the dude was gay.
Oh, no.
The dude was gay. He's like, "Oh, I'm so very happy for you guys. I'm a gay man." I said, "You a gay man in Indiana?" Which is very rare. This is very rare to have see a gay man in Indiana. Like just like you wouldn't find a gay person in Utah. That's just certain spots you wouldn't find gay people at. So this dude was big too. He like one of those big bear type guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's like one of those big bear type guys. And I like, he has a very intimidating presence. So I had my fork ready just in case I had to stab him in the eye.
Jeez, James.
Just in case I had to stab him in my eye. You know, no. Now, what would have really been funny is if he would have came to the table and he gave us intimidating presence, and then he started talking like real feminine.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been real funny. That would have been real funny.
Yeah. Would you not have been as ready to stab him in the eye then?
Yeah. My hand probably would a little bit like.
All right, James.
I can relax. I can relax now. He's on our side.
He's on our side.
He's on our side. But he's a good dude, though. He's a good dude.
Yeah, I bet.
Yep. Talking to a gay dude in Indiana.
Yeah. So don't be gay and talk to James when he has forks. Apparently.
No.
The moral of the story.
No, it's like I don't have a problem with that. I just didn't know what his intentions was, because he looked weird. Yeah, guys sometimes can look very intimidating. Yeah, especially when you're in another part of the town. Yeah, you don't know. Yeah, that's why you gotta be careful who you talk to.
That's true. That's true.
That's why I'm glad you guys didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, no, it was a smooth trip. Great trip all around.
I'm trying to look at this dome that you were talking about.
Oh yeah, let me see if I can find the name. Utah Domes.
You said it's in the woods?
Yeah, or it's like in canyons, in the canyon lands or something.
It's like like spaced out domes or
yeah, they look spacey. Here, I found the website. I'll send it to you.
All right, little huts, or kind of like little huts. I'm assuming
something like that. Here,
so everyone has their own little hut.
Yeah, there's like 6 of them, and they're all facing different directions. So you kind of get your privacy.
Oh, I think I've seen those before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen those before. That's cool.
Yeah, I sent it to you right now. So I think this hopefully is it.
I stayed in like a cabin before when I was younger. And it was really cool.
Yeah. There's some cabins out in Austin in the Dripping Springs area. There's some cabins that we like to go to. It's same thing. It's like they're all kind of like sort of private. There's like hot tubs. It's camping, but it's like fancy camping.
Yeah, I remember me and Richard. Oh, not me and Richard. I almost spilled the beer. Yeah, me and Richard stayed in the cabin one time. No, but I think Richard that went to the cabin too. It was somewhat in the Woodlands. It was like a little cabin in the Woodlands.
Yeah, I imagine I'm sure the Woodlands has something like that too. But they're real nice. It's real nice. You can make a little fire pit. It's cool. It's a good time. If you don't,
so it looks like a bedroom.
Yeah, it's like a bedroom, and then there's like a little kitchenette and a little bathroom. And there's also like a little upstairs, like little loft area to where like if you had kids, right? If you went with your wife or spouse or whatever, and you had a couple kids, like they could sleep upstairs, and then you sleep in the bed below. So it's not very big, but it was like very like roomy. They made it work.
Yeah, because the space is just for you and her.
Yeah. So it was a good time. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got about the trip. So
all right then.
Cool, man. Well, hey, if anybody wants to let us know what they thought about Thunderbolts or the Fantastic Four, or what they think about road trips, you can email us at onthegopod2023@gmail.com. You can also contact us on Instagram at On The Go with Jacob and James, or also on Facebook and YouTube, On The Go with Jacob and James. And hey, without further ado, I'm on the go, James is on the go, and we are all on the go.
Makes me feel so alive. Listen to those guys talk about anything and everything with my boner, boner, my boner, boner, my boner, boner, my boner. Keep up the good work, me and my boner. I'm always gonna listen to you guys. Word to your mothers, your sisters, your grandma. Tell your gam I said what's up. Hit me up, gam, call me. I'll be waiting to hear from you. Let's go.